not vanilla. We're just not.
We're not. We're definitely not.
But we have dirty minds. We have very dirty minds, and we like to let that come out on the podcast. And that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
We're back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
No one's letting you forget in the club. That is for fucking sure.
Are you in lots and lots of pain? How bad is the pain?
Fuck you fucking asshat.
Have fun dancing in the floor.
Number one, why am I falling? Number two, you ruined everything.
Oh, so good. Meow.
What you guys didn't see is that I just flashed Kelsey. On Riverside there's a countdown and it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then I don't know what just happened, but as soon as I hit 1, I just like pulled up my top and I don't know what happened.
And the best part is that your screen froze and I didn't even get to see your tits.
What?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It froze and I was like, oh fuck. I'm like, maybe it's glitching. But you were just showing me your tits and, you know, starting the podcast off on an immaculate note here.
As you guys can tell, today's episode is going to be Turbo Unhinged.
Turbo time. Yep. Well,
Turbo
we've
time.
been fucking in it, man. Like,
we are in a raw dog pocket. We are
Raw
in a raw dog pocket.
yeah.
Maybe that's another one of our series. We have the tip. We have the 3-way. What if we have
The
a
raw
raw
dog.
Like what? The raw dog. We were gonna have the orgy as well. Remember?
Orgy. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Where we have like lots of people on the show, and it's just a big fucking talk fest. I'm just joking. I talk like I'm so dirty. I talk like I'm so like out there, yet I'm probably one of the most like vanilla fucking cupcakes.
You are not vanilla. Are you fucking kidding me? Stop it. Just, like, no. I mean, you're not like going to like a kink party, but like you're not gonna go to a kink party. Maybe just like a solo kink party with like you and whoever, but it's not out of the realm of possibility for either of us. And
That is true.
We're not vanilla. We're just not.
We're not. We're definitely not.
But we have dirty minds. We have very dirty minds, and we like to let that come out on the podcast. And that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
Literally couldn't be more off topic, which is the best part. I just got this flash of people listening to us, and they're like in wherever, like all across the globe, because apparently our podcast is international, which is cool.
Yeah.
We've been like tracking where people are listening, and we're like, holy fuck. We've got people in Europe, in Africa, we've got people in like there's everywhere, like Russia,
Everywhere.
we've got people like everywhere. Lots in the United States. Our highest viewership is in the United States. Yeah, we've got like so many different, like literally all over the world. It was like, what was it, like 40 countries?
Yeah,
or something? We're just like, this is fucking nuts.
Something like that. It was pretty crazy. And, you know, we hope that you listen with headphones, because if you don't, I mean, you should know by now. You should have headphones in, because you never know what we're going to say. And it might not be appropriate for, you know, if you're sitting in church or if you're walking down the street with your grandma. You know?
Those are the two most fucking random scenarios. Number one, who's going to be at a church scrolling through their podcast feed and think, ooh, what a great time to throw on a Club Unhinged podcast.
Well, it's not just the tip today.
You know
but
what?
like,
if you throw it on in church and you get in shit, that's on you, bitch. That's fucking on you, because we do not label these like super beigey cakes titles. Like, we're not like, how to manifest abundance today, and then it's like, psych, I'm flashing you, and it's this whole thing. I mean, maybe that is how to. You know what? Play and creativity and laughter is actually a manifestation. So this could be about that.
It could be, but
like,
it's not. And I don't know why I thought of those two things, but listen, my head, my emotions have been all over the fucking map lately, so I'm not even gonna try and figure myself out at this point, because it's been a deep fucking dive into the pits of emotional hell. And we're gonna talk about demon slaying today, and not like in the movies, you know, but we're talking about our inner demons. and like it's eclipse season. Like technically when we're recording this today, it's on the eclipse. And this eclipse is all about relationships and like looking at your relationship patterns and your relationship to self and relationship to others, and everything that isn't working for you is coming up for review. And my system was like, yeah, bitch, let's fucking go. Let's go. And a few weeks ago, I watched this horror movie called The Deliverance. 10 out of 10. It was great.
Rotten Tomato says 1.3 out of 10, but Kelsey's
10 out of 10.
Unhinged.
Movie reviews with Kelsey. And I watched it from this more metaphorical lens. And when I was watching it, I was like, fuck, this is shadow work 101. Like, yeah, they're talking about demons and like being possessed and exorcisms and shit. And also that's exactly what happens when we have these beliefs or these patterns that get installed that aren't us, that aren't the truth of who we are. And there's an inevitable point where we have to exercise all of that energy out of us. We have to do the great fucking purge and go to the bottom of the basement and have this like spiritual fucking war with these parts of ourselves and purge them and feel the depths of that pain to release it. And that's where I've been for the last week is in the purge, the great demon purge of 2024. And it's been a lot. It's been painful and also so necessary, because where I want to go with my life, with Club Unhinged, with my relationships, I couldn't keep holding all of that material. I feel like I even look different. Like, and maybe that's after, 5 days of crying, but like there's been some emotional weight that's been lifted and that's been released, and old stuff. Like I'm talking like looking square in the eyes, my biggest fucking fear of all time, and sitting with it and like wrestling with it and like letting it whip me around and like feeling things real deep. And it's been a lot. And it's one of those things that, is a big part of what it means to be living an unhinged life and really stepping into our power. Like we can't fully step into our full exalted power if we are holding on to all of this material that's stuck in the bottom of the basement. And so today we want to dive in and talk a little bit about this process, talk a little bit about what it's like to do the demon purge, what it's like to really sit with our shadows and sit with our pain and alchemize it. Because a lot of people feel pain, a lot of people experience pain, and they don't know how to alchemize it. And the reason that it stays stuck is because it never fully gets transformed. It never fully gets alchemized. And when it hasn't been alchemized, then we keep repeating it in, different relationships, but same fucking pattern, same experience, same feeling. And we're just really over that. We're like, no, let's light this bitch and let's fucking go to town and build a life of our dreams. And that includes relationships that feel really fucking good to be in. But if we're carrying all this dead weight, it's very, very, very difficult to create on top of that shit. Because that shit is not a strong foundation. So we're getting into the basement. We're reinforcing the foundation, clearing out, wrestling the demons, so that we can actually like emerge a more integrated, powerful, embodied version of ourselves. So that's where we're going today. Buckle up.
So fucking casual. That was such a fucking just preaching TED talk. I was like, holy fuck. Oh my God. Wow. The basement work is so scary, can be, like, just to go in there. And when you're really called, it's like it's a calling. There's no getting around it. There's times when I feel like personal development work is a choice, and there's times when it is it's a reckoning. There's like a call home, and that 100%. Call is so strong, and it brings it through circumstances and people, and oftentimes relationships. And it is so desperately looking to be cleared because, like you said, our highest calling, our most powerful version, they don't exist with it. It's not an energetic match. It's not, you know what I mean? It's just, it doesn't belong there. Like, I say this a lot. I work with, you and I work with a lot of people in that state of transition, that state of expansion. And, we say a lot to them, like, this debris that you're carrying that's rattling around in the basement is not part of who you're becoming. Like, it's just not a match. It's not coming with you. And so we have to do that excavation work. We have to get out the pressure washer, the power cleaner. And like you said, we can't plant new desires. This bleeds into manifestation, but it's like we can't. Actually, I did a daily coaching club. This just reminded me. I did one of our daily coaching club mini episodes. I was like, why does this sound so incredibly familiar? I'm like this. I'm like, I feel like I've talked about this before. I have on the daily coaching club. And guys, just a little side pocket. If you're not in the daily coaching club, get your fucking ass in there. It is the most immaculate offer on the internet. 30 days of coaching every single day. You get a private podcast, a micro podcast, 1 to 10 minute in your inbox. You hit click, you hit play, it goes right to your podcast feed, and you can listen to Kelsey and I coaching you every day. And it is so fun. And the topics range: spirituality, personal development, love, sex, again, money, power, manifestation, spirituality, like all these pieces. And it's so fun. So just like today on the podcast, you never know where we're going to go. Where you're like, I don't know, it's going to be this.
I don't know.
But the cool feedback that I keep getting, though, is that we keep having people tell us, what I heard today was exactly what I needed. And I can't even, like, it's, you know it's going to be true.
Yeah.
You can't make it up. The amount of messages that are like, you can't even believe how much I needed to hear that today. I heard that and I went and did this. I went and did that and I took action. I took that journal prompt and I actually got into the depths of this, and I'm loving that feedback. So it is like the best freaking offer, and get in there before the price raises. Okay. So just to go back to this whole piece around, planting on top of, like, essentially a dead foundation, right? Like, it's a very old, archaic, rotting foundation. Like, imagine literally walking into a garden, and if you go and you open the door to the garden and you step outside and you're like, this is scary because, you're going to see
everything's overgrown.
All sorts of shit. Yep. Everything's overgrown. It looks scary. There's fucking rats ripping around, there's like little fucking weird spider species that have created nests and like these, like fucking shit everywhere. And you're like, what is happening right now? And it feels overwhelming sometimes and scary to go and look at that. Right? To go and deal with it. It is hard for sure. But there hits a moment where you're like, I have to, because I know what's going to happen. If I pretend that I don't see this stuff, if I pretend I don't see my patterns, if I pretend I don't know, if I just look away, I can go and grab the soil and I can spend all my resources and time and money and effort going out there and dumping all that over top and putting it on. But guess what's going to grow, you guys? Jack fucking shit. Or if it does grow, it's going to be some funky ass beanstalk, weird watermelon, goddamn, like the thing's going to have like growths all over it. And it's going to be just fucked.
It's just a GMO garden.
It's just the most turbo psychotic GMO fucking, rat packed, like rats fucking making love in your strawberries. Like there's gonna be shit everywhere, and it's gonna be nuts, right? It's gonna be fucking nuts. And so, like, that's why oftentimes when people come and they're like, oh, I've done all the things, I'm like, okay. And they're like, but I'm like, so show me the results. And they're like, this is the results. I'm like, yeah, that's a perfect garden that you tried to pretend the shit underneath, where you got this, you got the 7 steps, you got the 7-step strategy from the best marketing coach. And then you did this and you followed the manifestation, whoever, and that's fine. But if your results aren't what you want, right, it's because you're giving off, and this is like, we could go so deep into this, but it's like you're giving off a different vibrational frequency. You have the old stuff that's cock blocking. You have the old stuff that's, bringing up weeds and annoying situations and repetitive cycles and patterns in your life. And then you might have a little bit of, a sweet strawberry here and there, but like, bitch, you were not designed to have one strawberry a month. You were designed to have the whole fucking garden and fresh roses and stuff everywhere. And that's who we become when we become these conscious creators. And we're working with, we just do that foundational work of clearing out the clutter, clearing out the stuff, so that what we plant and what we actually put our energy into can actually really grow and manifest into beautiful things. And we actually have the lives that we want versus all that mixed messaging, right? So those are my
100%,
thoughts.
100%. I mean, I kind of want to see that garden that's just a
So do I.
trash fucking fire. But also, like, we're joking, but for true, like, we want to see you thrive. And we can't thrive unless we really, really look at what's there that we don't want to look at. Like, and that's the thing about the basement. That's the thing about the demons that are hiding in the basement. They're in the basement for a reason, because they are confronting. They are big. They're really emotionally tender. But when you get close enough, this is what I've seen over this last week. When I get close enough to these parts, what I see is like the demon, like all of this like scary fucking shit is just a cover for a part of me that is really, really scared, abandoned, alone, terrified, and has literally been locked away in the basement for God knows how long. Like, the parts that I have been meeting this past week have been more in like the 12 to 15 year range. So like, those are parts that have been locked away for a very long time, and my adaptive strategies that I have created to compensate for the pain that the 13-year-old me felt, those strategies have been showing up in my relationships and fucking them. Like, fucking them so hard up the ass with no fucking lube. Like, dumpster fire. Like, it's not a fun situation. And then it's so easy when we have these patterns that are coming up and causing interference. It's so easy to get focused on the thing that you don't need to focus on. Like, and you and I talked about this yesterday, where I brought something to you and you're like, yeah, that actually feels like the leaves of the tree, but that's not the root. Get to the fucking root. And as soon as you said it, I was like, oh yeah, duh. But like, how often do we do that? We focus and fixate on a detail or an idea or a circumstance or this external drama so that we don't have to go down and in to what the actual root is. And the root of it all comes down to like me not creating powerfully, me not creating agreements that are actually in alignment with the truth of my soul. And me making agreements from that wounded place, me making agreements from the nice girl, me making agreements from my shadow. And like, sometimes my shadow, like, yes, it's fucking gnarly and nasty as shit, but there's also this spot of like being too understanding. And it would be hard to say like, oh, how is being understanding like a shadow? Well, because I developed it as a compensatory behavior to deal with pain. So I became understanding, hoping that in me being understanding, it would get me to avoid pain. That people would start treating me better if I just understood them better. But the thing is, if someone's willing to disrespect you once, they're going to fucking do it again. And they're especially going to do it again if you do not know how to stand up and advocate for yourself. And for me, I can do that in certain relationships, but there are other relationships that are just more karmic for me. And it's more of a challenge. And in those relationships, I have a tendency to be very understanding and give them a million fucking chances. And also, never really advocating for what it is that I actually need and actually want. So it's like this double whammy of like, they don't actually have the information they need to make an informed, consensual decision of like, do they want to play that game with me? And then also like I'm being slippery and shadowy underneath it and being like, I'm just going to be understanding as a way to try and manipulate my needs getting met. But it doesn't fucking work. And all it does is it erodes my self-esteem, my self-worth, and I can't find my center anymore. And all of a sudden I'm sitting here in this relationship being like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, how am I in this spot where I feel unseen, I feel unmet, I feel unknown, I feel not cared about, all this stuff? Because I actually haven't been caring about me. I haven't been showing up for me in the ways that my system actually needs. So like to see these shadow patterns and these shadow agreements, like they're so fucking sneaky. Like that's not how the dynamic started, but like life happens and like we have these little moments that hit us off center. And sometimes one of those moments might hit an old trauma spot and we spiral, and then all those patterns just come up so fucking fast. And months down the road, we're like, what just happened? Like the carnage that's happening in Christine's apartment right now. Crash, 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 crash. But that's so fucking perfect because that's actually what happens in real life. There's this moment where everything comes crashing down and it's complete fucking carnage. And we're like, what just happened here? And then we've got to go into the basement and we've got to do the dance with the demon and say, okay, what is ready to be alchemized here? Because I'm not taking this pattern with me. Like I just got to a point where I was sick of it. And like my philosophy, and this is how I coach, is that, you know, you're going to keep doing the pattern until you're done with it. Like you got to run it until it's done. Mm-hmm. And so I never make it wrong if I fall back into these old patterns, because obviously like I needed to run that through. Like the line is not totally clear yet. And then it gets to an inevitable point where I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm ready to like really excavate this and go all the way to the pits of the basement and feel it. And I think that's the scariest part, because you have to feel pain. You've got to feel the things that we didn't want to feel, which is why we developed the compensatory behavior in the first place. And so it's like a revisiting of this old material, but like from a new, expanded, elevated place, which is really what makes all the difference. Like me with all the tools and the awareness and the lifelines and the support, meeting those spots now is very different than 13-year-old me who had none of that and was actually alone and actually isolated and terrified. And so it's easier to go into the basement as the functional adult, as the version of me that's like, okay, I know I'm a bad bitch. Haven't been acting like a bad bitch, but I know that I am. And like I'm brave and courageous to like open the door, walk down those stairs into this creepy fucking basement and begin this process of alchemizing, exercising, transforming, feeling, purging. And like I'm going to stay with it as long as I need to stay with it in order for it to complete. Like it was literally a 5-day purge. And there's probably still a little bit left in there, but like I feel like we've gotten through the majority of it. And like I've cried more in the last 5 days than I probably have in the last 5 years. It's been ugly. It's been hard. And yet it was like undeniable that I had to go into it. It was undeniable that it was time, and I didn't want to keep carrying that energy with me going forward. So that's my little TED Talk.
Oh, it's so good. And something I just want to name that I witnessed about, I think you and I both have, I can't speak for you, but we've talked about this a little bit before, about you and I both have this like very strong girl persona. Like we've had to be strong. We've had to take on a lot. We've had to get through the things we've gone through. You and I have both been cheated on many times. We have very similar stories. We've had a lot of really shitty things happen, betrayals through friendships and business partnerships. It's just so many things.
Yeah.
We have so many similarities. And also we coach. You know, we're known in our industries. We have good reputations and all these pieces. So sometimes it is hard. I just want to name this as a practitioner or as like a coach or as somebody to go through these moments and almost like, I know for me, when I go through these, there's almost this feeling of like, I should be through this, or like, you know, how am I here? Or there's almost like a slight embarrassment or shame piece, which is so interesting, right? Like it's so fascinating. It's that, and then that triggers the whole like, well, I'll just get through this myself, and then I'll, you know, and then I'll talk about it when I'm ready, and then once I'm fully through it, then I'll make sure that this is a little lesson. And I think, you know, if there's any, I'm sure there's lots of people out there who do similar work, right? Or coaching or whatever you're building right now. And especially if you're a leader, you know, we work with a lot of leaders. And so I think if you're in a place of leadership where people know you, it is sometimes hard to be vulnerable or to like ask for your needs to be met. And something that I just want to name that I witnessed with you was you like asking for help, like you and you speaking up for your needs. Like when I got a message from you on the weekend, and I was out at the pumpkin patch with my kids and my parents, but like you messaged me, you're like, hey, I'm in like a kind of a raw spot and I feel like I need to talk, and can you talk some stuff through with me? And yeah, like I was just like, fuck yeah. I'm like, is this an emergency? I can get my parents to watch the kids, and you know, but like, you know, and then you talking, and that's something I've been working on as well, is asking for help when I need it and not trying to get through everything alone. So I just want to name that, like, I watched you do that. I watched you so beautiful and so tender, and like, you know, all the, like, what do they say? The best brain surgeons don't do their own surgery. Like we all have spots that we're like, can't see. We all have these things, you know, you and I can see it fucking flawlessly for other people. But when it comes to ourselves, there's this sometimes feeling of like, we need to do it alone, or we should have this figured out by now. So I watched you so beautifully reach out to people, and I thought that was so inspiring as well, because that shows you for yourself about what a high value woman you are, and how you do value yourself, and that is something a worthy, powerful woman would do, right? And so watching you embody that, and watching you like step forward and just be like, yeah, I'm having a rough spot right now, and I see myself as a high value woman, so I'm going to ask for help because I don't need to do this alone. And that was like, I mean, that was you already stepping out of the pattern, right? And then like just watching you navigate what you went through, and the tenderness, and I don't know, it's just, it was so beautiful to witness. And like, and I mean, I also have to say I was excited because when you told me you're like, I'm going through a fucking exorcism, and I mean, I know it sounds really fucked and weird, but like I get really excited when people come to me and they're like, oh, this is happening. I'm like, fuck yeah. Oh, this is juicy, because I know what's on the other side of it when we have these crazy cracking opens to some of our deepest pains. And I mean, number one, it shows me that your system is feeling safe enough. It tells me that you're in actually a really great spot, because our trauma doesn't bubble to the surface out of the basement if it doesn't feel safe. So that tells me that you've created a life, and you've designed friendships and a life around you where your system is starting to really sink into safety and starting to lean into others. So that's like so beautiful. And as your business partner, that was really fucking fun as well, because I'm like, I mean, you know, I've been through so many dumpster fires in this last year, and I've been hitting some of my deepest edges around allowing myself to receive and have good things in my life, and which has been very spicy for me because I haven't been used to that. So I think you and I have both been in this like turbo purge, because you know, I mean, number one, the universe is like, I ain't letting you guys teach or lead women if you haven't like gone through these deeper initiation portals. And you and I can lead to a certain degree, but it's like, if we want to lead to the impact and to have the woman that we know we're here to lead and, you know, to step into, like, we have to do that deeper work ourselves. So it's our embodiment to do first as well. And I think you and I are doing that really well. I'm going to name right now. And I get excited because it's like those deeper initiations there's always something fucking magic that comes out of it. It's like the storm, and then you get the rainbow, right? Like there's something so magical that unlocks every time one of these portals come. And it wasn't like a chosen portal. It wasn't you saying, okay, I'm going to go out and like, I feel like there's some trauma I need to work on, so I'm going to go out and like figure this out. It like came to you, delivered at your fucking doorstep. And then when you see it, you can't not see it. And the other thing I just want to name really quickly that I witnessed was your willingness to sit with what was arising, because many times you shared with me, you're like, I've had the like inkling to, oh fuck, hold on.
Oh, yeah. Just pause. You
cannot watch YouTube. You know what? Fuck fucking keep this in the podcast.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
You know what? I'm not gonna. No, my daughter's yelling at me.
Yeah.
I've got 2 kids. My daughter's yelling at me. You know what? There's probably listeners who are fucking laughing because they're like, thank God. Eva, I said no YouTube, babe. No. Hey, does anyone want any parenting? Anyone want any parenting 101 from me? No YouTube. I'm just gonna keep it real. But I witnessed you not leave your pain. And that is something like there were so many, times when you were like, I know, I could feel, I want to go and scroll. I can feel like you were so aware of how your protective parts were trying to remove you from the pain. And I think this is something I want to acknowledge because the fastest way into the pain is to be with it, right? Like oftentimes, again, pain comes up, we avoid it, we drink it away, we smoke it away, we fucking sex it away, we scroll, we work it away, we dive into work, and we see that as like, oh, you're doing such a good job, you're such a high achiever. But oftentimes that is a numbing agent, and I watched you go into it with not only intention, like it was like you sitting watching and seeing a tsunami coming, and you're like, I'm gonna watch this, I see it coming, and I'm not gonna run. I'm not running from it. I'm going to sit with it because I know I'm going to get through this. And I'm surrounding myself with this. And I really, really respected that because I watched you like just fucking go head first into this and be like, I'm going to take the next however long it needs to be here so I can go through this and I don't have to like numb out from it. So I love that. I watched that and it was so in deep reverence and respect for you doing that.
Thank you. And I can even feel like the reception in me has shifted because I'm letting myself feel impacted by what you just said. And like it has been like a really big deal to sit with these spots and to feel these feelings that I haven't felt for a long time, and like to feel this rawness and this tenderness, and like it feels like my heart is like cracking open and it's more open than it's ever been, and that feels really fucking raw. And like this spot of facing my biggest fear and sitting with it and like feeling like where it's located in the back of my heart, and it felt like all of these layers of ice and permafrost and walls and like all this stuff that I've constructed around me and around my heart because of the emotional betrayal and relational betrayal that I've experienced for decades, started to come down and it started to melt. And that feels really fucking vulnerable to be in that spot. Like I want to have this beautiful, incredible relationship. And what I realized was that all of that permafrost was blocking the port. So I think of like my heart as like a port, for a plug. And like the person who is meant to love me well, like his plug fits into my port, and then my plug fits into his port. And if I don't excavate this, if I don't clear this, like my port was blocked. And it has been blocked for a really long time. And it's been so closed and hardened, and like I let myself love and be loved only to a degree, but not enough where someone could annihilate me. And so this whole process was the bringing down of that permafrost, the bringing down of those walls to open that port again. So I actually am connectable and willing to take that risk of being completely annihilated by love. And trusting also that I'm not going to pick someone who is going to disrespect the gift that it is, and not going to recognize the significance of what I've just done. Like they're going to get it. They're going to understand like what that initiation was all about, and be so grateful that they can actually connect in to that spot now. And then the free flow of love can happen. But until all of that de-armoring happened, and it's so fucking interesting because I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but I've been doing like 30 days of cervical orgasms. And as you open the cervix, it opens the heart. And so it's like this gateway that I started with. I'm like, I'm just going to start with my pleasure practice. And like, I don't know. It feels like it's something I need to do. And that's what I've been doing for the last month and a bit. And then to know that it's like the unlocking of the heart, which then opened this whole other space to go really into the de-armoring of the heart and to open these spots and to feel all of that rawness and all of that tenderness, and then stay open as my heart was breaking, because it's like I had to break my heart open over these last 5 days and sit with that ache and sit with that pain and sit with that aloneness and sit with that fear and that spot of like, what if this never happens for me? And like just being with that possibility and loving myself and holding myself in that spot and not ejecting out. And that was really big for me, to not eject out, because I have a lot of ways that I eject out, and I had been doing that over the pandemic. I think that's probably pretty common for a lot of people. It was such a tumultuous time that a lot of my old numbing behaviors really got back in the swing of things, and I've been deconstructing them. But like, this was a really big shift for me to like not throw on Netflix or like scroll on my phone and just be like, I'm literally sitting in the dark in the middle of my apartment on the fucking floor, like ugly crying. And like, I don't care. I'm just going to be here until I'm not. And like, I'm going to be here until this kind of rolls through. And luckily my dad had sent me home with a lot of pre-made meals. And so, thanks, Dad. And because like there were elements of this of like, I couldn't really care for myself in the ways that I normally would. Like if I didn't have those pre-made meals, I wouldn't have been eating, which would also be an old compensatory way that I would navigate this. Because I used to just not eat as a way to like avoid emotional pain, because I'd be so focused on the physical pain of being hungry. And so it would help me kind of numb out from the emotional pain and stay fixated on something external. And so this time I'm like, I can feel all of those impulses come up. I'm like, oh, I've got some weed gummies, or like, let me take some mushrooms, or like, oh, that bottle of whiskey looks real nice, or like, how about this nice little scroll through Instagram, or like, you know, being on Netflix, or like playing a game on my phone, whatever it is. And like, none of that happened. And it was just like literally me with the emotion, letting it rumble through. It felt like a fucking hurricane tsunami literally ripped through my entire system. And like, as the tsunami like whipped through like the energy of my heart, it like cleared that debris that was there, that was blocking the port, that was blocking my ability to be connectable. And now like that it's open and it's tender, but there's also this like rebooting of power that has happened. And like this like precise clarity of exactly what I need to do. Like, it's just so clear. I don't need to negotiate with myself. I don't need to like spin it a million different ways in my head. I just know this is the next move I need to make, and I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. And like trust that that is like essentially taking me further down the path of what I ultimately desire, which is that relationship, that mutually met relationship with someone who I can co-create an incredible life with, and, you know, go on double dates with you and do unhinged shit around the world.
I'm so obsessed. I fucking love it. And yeah. I mean, what you just talked about is an energetic upgrade, right? Like, just hearing you talk, I'm like, yeah, I was getting visuals of it the whole time. It's like you said about the heart, like, we walk around as humans all the time with so much excess debris, garbage, baggage from the past, and it affects our everyday moment. It affects our decisions. It affects our habits. It affects our identity. And like we talked about earlier, like if you're feeling not like overwhelmed or shame about the garden, like the initial dumpster fire garden, if that's what it feels like for you. I mean, if it's, you know, peonies and fucking roses ever, immaculate. We love that for you. But if it's like a bit of a dumpster fire back there, it's not your fault, right? It's again, it's like we can't, the conditioning and their environment and the lack of resources, or, you know, our parents' emotional unprocessed trauma, whatever it is, like that stuff it's not, everyone has it. Everyone has that. But it's what do we want to do with it? And when we are called, our soul calls us, we have to expand. Now, if we don't purge or we don't excavate, think of it like a gas tank. Like if you go to a gas station and you bring your car, you roll your car up and you try to input gas, 5-step strategies, your next thing, here's the thing I want to manifest this. And like, what's going to happen when you try to put the fucking hose in? It's all going to spill out because it's full, like you're full. And so we do have to go back and do some of this work. And like you did with your heart, because it's like if you're calling in that deep love and your blueprint or your energetic, you know, debris that's sitting in there is pain and betrayal and sadness and feeling alone, your energetic body doesn't know the timeline. It thinks it's still happening, and it's just full like that. Like you said, the love can't find you because your Wi-Fi is off, right? Like you're not there. You're not, the signal's not out. And the heart, if you think of the heart from like science, like it's the magnet, right? The thoughts are sending out the signal, and the heart is the magnet bringing it back. And so if our heart is sort of offline, which happens a lot, I know it happened for me many times over and over again, because I've been really deeply hurt, and my heart was not open. And like you, it's been a massive defrost process. And allowing people to support me and allowing good things to happen and allowing, it's very sensationally high for me. It's very uncomfortable. So there's like, again, a titrating, which even in that sense, which is really wild. And that's a whole nother podcast for another day. But learning about how things that are good, if you're used to shit all the time, they can be very dysregulating. And that's why people say self-sabotage, but it's self-protection, right? Like we're protecting ourselves against something that feels unfamiliar, and sometimes being really deeply and richly loved and having, I mean, you and I are all about creating a hot, rich, and thriving era in life. And, you know, having debris in the basement is not part of that, right? It can't move forward, right? So we want to be these magnetic creatures, and so it does require some of that work. And the work is not actually hard. It's not, how do I say this? It's not hard. It's just that it's actually quite simple when you know what to do. Like you knew the pathway through it, but that 5 days could have taken you 7 years, 15 years, right? If you had chosen to distract and to look at other areas. So I think that's, you know, in the club, we definitely call on your expansion. We definitely hold you in your desires. We talk about all the things. And there's also the spaciousness to hold in safe community, in co-regulation with others, and to let that stuff bubble up so it can be transmuted, because that's really what we're holding in the container, as well as that community of other people who are also in desire of clearing out the old shit, so that authenticity, you know, manifestation, money, all the power, like they feel super powerful, like all of that rolls in to take its place, because that's who we are. We're not designed to be these dense, heavy, you know, Eeyore, like no, you know, that's not us. We're not us. Not us. And actually, that reminds me of the mini riff I did today for the Daily Coaching Club. I haven't sent it to you yet, but I said that it was called "We didn't come here, like you didn't come here to be mediocre." And I was really talking about, yeah, and it was like a big, you know, cheerleading fucking reminder. I was like, you did not come here to be mediocre. Like, you did not come here to fall asleep at the wheel. You did not come here to, you know, I think I said be like Beijosaurus Rex. Like some people do, but if you're listening to this podcast, this is not you.
Not you.
So reminder that, like, yeah, if you feel like a misfit, if you feel like a bit of an outcast, if you feel like you're misunderstood, like, thank fucking God. And, you know, you belong in the club because you've got fucking magic, baby. So it's like, it was just a really nice reminder. Yeah, I mean, this all, again, these patterns that you and I have, will our overfunctioning and overthinking, that'll be the next day. This will come out
tomorrow.
on Wednesday.
It'll come on Wednesday, so we're doing the training tomorrow for overfunctioning and overgiving. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, because this will come out, you're right. 10-10.
And 10-10. And, I mean, everything that we've kind of touched on today, like, kind of springboards from that compensatory pattern that I have of overgiving and overfunctioning. What do you think being understanding is all about? Like overly understanding requires me to overextend. It requires me to overfunction and overgive. Like I can't be overly understanding and also like really boundaried in a reciprocal, balanced container. No. And so I've played out that pattern of overgiving, overfunctioning, and like I said before, we play our patterns until we're done with them. And we've both had relationships where we really like pedal to the metal on that pattern of overgiving and overfunctioning and being overly understanding at the expense of our own well-being, at the expense of our own worthiness, at the expense of being loved well. And one of these spots that I've been playing with is like, I don't know that I've ever really been loved well. Like I've been loved well in my friendships. Like I've learned how to open that door. But in relationships, that has not been my experience. And if I want it to be my experience, I have to give up the pattern of overgiving and overfunctioning, because that ultimately is the biggest protector, guardian of the fucking gates that I could have in play. Because if I overgive and I overfunction, I create a dynamic that's imbalanced. And if it's imbalanced, I don't have to like open. Like it's the biggest way that I justify not opening. Because I can't trust you. Like you can't hold your own. Like you can't be there for me. Like whatever the fuck the story is. And then it's easy to kind of displace it onto the other person instead of looking at, well, hold on. Like I set this whole sequence in motion when I overextended the first time, when I overgave, when I overfunctioned, when I didn't tell the fucking truth when something wasn't working for me, because I didn't want to be inconvenient. I didn't want it to be uncomfortable, and I'm trying to buffer their discomfort, and I end up swallowing it and absorbing it and never getting my needs met, never getting what I want. But like there's this, play, like this shadowy play that I do that I kind of actually want to not be met. See, this is the thing about wanting to be mutually met. There's also a part that doesn't. And the part that doesn't is the part that overfunctions, the part that overgives, the part that is overly understanding. That's the part that doesn't want to be mutually met because it's too fucking vulnerable. And we don't fully trust ourselves when we overfunction because we're choosing people that we have to overfunction with. We know on some level they can't hold their own. Otherwise, they'd be holding their own and we wouldn't be playing out that pattern, and that would send us into a fucking tailspin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it
so
has.
It has. So we play it out. And then once we're done playing it out, then we can deconstruct it, and then we can start making these micro adjustments and exploring what it looks like to be balanced in a relationship and be balanced in our giving. No one's suggesting that you shouldn't give. No one's suggesting that you should just like stop participating in your relationships. But stop overextending in your relationships, because it's not the gateway to get you the love that you want. It's the gateway to get you the love that you don't want. And we don't love that for you. We want you to be loved well.
No. So if this topic is of interest, come join us. I mean, you can still get in. If you're listening to this when we come out live, you can come join us. It's Thursday, October 10th. So we're doing 10:10 at 10 a.m. PST. It's going to be a fucking banger.
Nice little portal.
Nice little portal. And if you listen to this after, then you can still get the replay from us. You can get the replay from us. And these mini trainings are so incredible. Feedback is so great. Nervous system friendly, giving you something actionable to do and take away. They're not like a 4-hour master classes. They're like 40, 45 minutes. We go in on the topic, we hone in, we dial in, we laser focus, we give you a tool, a takeaway, and we share personal stories, and we just help you really understand what it is, why it matters, and how to shift that pattern really quickly. So there's like little dose
zingers.
But zingers. Well, today was just magic, and I mean, I love how we went all over the board. We have started off with me flashing you, and then that turning into a whole nother thing, and then you going deep. you having a like deep little cry, Eva screaming out for YouTube, me telling her no, keeping that in because fucking why not? Like
Why
I think
not?
people need to. I think it's
real
important for
life.
people to see behind the scenes. This is real life, and we are real people, and we're not here trying to smoke, blow smoke up your fucking ass and just have you join some fucking cult. That it's like we're here, we're real people,
Yes.
on this journey with you, fucking shoulder to shoulder, doing the things, and just fucking going for it. And I think that's the thing. Like we're just okay to be misunderstood.
Messy.
We're okay to share our messy. We're okay. We find magic in the mess. We love that. We think it's beautiful. And I think there's just so much permission and ease. I think from somebody, I know for me, when I meet somebody or have somebody in my life where I can feel my nervous system at ease, because I'm like, they're not trying to present something. There's no, you can feel that when there's incongruence with somebody, when there's like, I'm trying to present a certain way. And I think that the world has enough of that. There's a million beautiful, fantastic content creators and podcasters who have the most immaculate design put together, perfect shows and show notes. And you and I are like, let's just have so much fun so that we keep doing this. And let's make this business a really fun, profitable, spicy, like joyful, purpose, impact driven business. And that's what we really care about. And that gives you and me freedom to have life and to have things happen and for us to feel safe enough to share our journeys. So
100%.
We love you for listening and really value you and the fact that you're investing your time into us. And our ask is always just, if you can like and subscribe to the podcast, like it, rate it. It's huge. You don't really realize the impact it has for us. It allows us to get more viewers. It allows more people to hear our message. And it's
we just
huge.
love you and we appreciate you. And we'll be back next week with something else. We love you.
Who knows what? We love you.
Who knows what? We love you.
Who knows
Bye.
what?
All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating. And we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you. Bye.